The following program on PBS 39 is made possible in part by
Excellence lives here in northeastern Indiana. It's reflected in more than 200 nationally recognized degrees. It drives our Division I sports. It's alive in our campus life. Excellence has a name, IPFW. Around our campus, around the country, around the world. Excellence lives here. Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, two great names.
For nearly 60 years, Arts United has worked to bring the rich, diverse talents of our region together through support of the arts, socially, culturally, and economically. Arts United, providing a home for the arts in Northeast Indiana.
This is Arts Weekly. Arts Weekly is produced in cooperation with the College of Visual and Performing Arts at IPFW, offering degrees in fine arts, music, theater, and visual communication and design.
Welcome to Arts Weekly. I'm John O'Connell, Dean of the IPFW College of Visual and Performing Arts. Today we'll be focusing on the IPFW Bachelor of Fine Arts student exhibitions that are taking place this spring. In the second half of the show, faculty member Bob Schrader and graduating senior Jeremy Stroop will be here to talk about the Fine Arts exhibition. But first, I'm joined by faculty member Jim Gabbard and graduating senior Bill Swygart to talk about the Visual Communication and Design student exhibition opening April 11th at the Allen County Public Library. Gentlemen, welcome to Arts Weekly, and thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Jim, this isn't your first time on Arts Weekly.
Correct.
You've been here before, so
Yes,
thank
I
you
have.
for joining us again. Bill, welcome for your first time.
Thank you.
I'm very excited to talk about the Visual Communication Design Department. Jim, you've been in the department for how long?
About 10 years now.
And what do you do there?
Well, I teach photography, and I also teach a thesis seminar capstone project, and then I'm a gallery coordinator for the Visual Communication and Design Department.
Several hats.
Yes, many hats.
And
yeah.
then you're also a professional photographer.
Correct. I also have my own photography business, yes, portraits and weddings primarily.
And you have traveled abroad for IPFW.
Yes, I have. IPFW has been generous in supporting me to 3 trips to the Dominican Republic for a research project that I'm doing on the people there.
And can you tell us a little bit about what is the Visual Communication Design Department?
Well,
it's a big title for a lot of different things.
It is. It's made up of 3 concentrations. The biggest primarily is graphic design. Then we have imaging and photography, which includes video. And then we have a modeling and animation program. So it's all 3 concentrations under that umbrella of one department.
And how many students in VCD?
We have approximately 290 students in that program, in the various programs, yes.
Busting at the seams.
It's a very big class, and we're very proud that this one is our biggest class ever. We have 27 students graduating this spring.
Wow, that's terrific.
It is a large number.
You have 2 graduating classes a year, though. Is that correct?
Correct. We have one in the fall, and that had our largest ever, about 21 students, and then along comes this one with 27. So between the 2, we've had just under 50 students graduating this year alone.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Talk a little bit about the senior thesis project and the process. What does that mean? What do students go through when they do a senior thesis project?
Sure. It is essentially a 2-semester long. It's basically a capstone project. It's what earns their BFA degree. It's a culmination of their entire time there in our department. 2 semesters long. It's very intense and very strict in terms of what they need to do. And it's a wonderful project because they start with an idea and then they finish with a completed project that they're required to exhibit for a public exhibition. So it's essentially 2 semesters. The first semester they work primarily on their project. Second semester is spent developing the show and getting it ready to install. And the students are required to put the show up that day during the install too. I oversee it, but they're actually required to come down to the library and participate in the install.
Well, with 27 students installing graphic design, modeling, and photography, it requires everybody's effort.
It is. They're all down there, and it's a little bit chaotic those 2 days, but it's also really fun to see the everything come together as a whole.
So if it's 2 semesters, then this class began last fall.
In August, yes.
And the graduates from December began the spring before.
In this following
it's
spring,
a 2
yeah.
semester.
And we actually had a voluntary meeting in July, in the summer, that most of the students came to. So it actually kicked off a little bit right when they started class. We started running.
Do you steward them through this by yourself, or is it a faculty endeavor, or who manages the actual 2 semesters?
Correct. I kind of guide it, but we rely on all the faculty to assist in evaluating, grading it, and helping the students along. The students will have to present to the faculty twice, once in the first semester, once in the second semester, and then during the first semester the students are actually required to go see individual faculty members, and that is part of their grade. And then after the exhibit is up, all the faculty will go down and grade their exhibits.
So I would imagine they go to faculty who have
in their area of expertise.
Right.
I'm not a model and animator, so I want our model and animator faculty member to be the one overseeing the individual work of that individual student.
Great.
Yes.
Great. And it's at the Allen County Library main campus downtown.
The Jeffrey
Why is
Kroll.
that? Why is it at the Kroll Gallery?
They've been wonderful for us, and they're a very large gallery, and they have enough room for the space. Amy Griffin down there has been helpful in the last few years, allowing us to install and participate there. They also have a room that we can set aside for our awards ceremony, and it's one of the few places in town that's really big enough to handle the number of students that we have, because we actually like them to have 4 to 6 feet wide for each of their individual projects. So it does take up quite a bit of space.
That's a very large exhibition.
And we have about 500 people show up on opening night.
It's crowded.
So,
I've been there.
Yes.
They're standing in the parking lot.
Exactly.
Let's go to some of the images and just get through those quickly, because I want to have time to visit with Bill as well. So can we just look quickly at some of these images and just tell us what we're looking at?
Avanda, she's doing a cultural thesis on African American hair types and what that means to each individual.
Is this a
illustration?
It's an illustration. Okay.
Kin G is doing Burmese culture in a designer handbags, as well as, you can't see it, but I have a designer tie of hers on.
We're going to have to show that tie.
And,
it's quite nice.
This is her tie. Took her 7 hours to hand stitch this tie, and this is part of her project.
Next image.
This is the ELF project. He's doing a graphic design and promotional piece for a very economically affordable car.
Wow, that's a car?
That's a car, yes.
That he built?
No, he doing the graphics for it.
Okay,
So
that car
built
exists.
it. He's doing the
okay.
promotional materials. He's doing the marketing promotional materials for this
All right.
car.
Will he have it?
They will be on display.
It will be on display.
Yes, yeah,
well, you
be
better
outside
keep,
the library. Yes.
Better keep me out of it.
Yeah. Self-portraits, a self-portrait project by Chris. Homeless veterans, military veterans who are homeless. Multiple exposures film-based, no post-production in Photoshop.
This is in Photoshop.
This is all multiple exposures in camera.
In camera, wow. Sweeney Todd.
Redesigning movie posters.
Great. Bill, you're a graduating senior.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
The countdown is on.
Yes, it is.
Senioritis.
Definitely.
But you can't have senioritis if you have a display to do next week.
Yeah, that's all I'm focused on right now.
Yeah.
I'm not even worried about anything else.
And you are, what's your area of study?
In graphic design.
Graphic design, which is the largest area, I'm
Correct.
told, in
Yes.
VCD. What interests you in graphic design?
It's kind of the two forms I like. I'm huge in art, love that ever since. But then it's a little bit more of the psychology and the advertising blended together, and I've just always had a fascination with it.
So you did have a fine art interest to begin with.
Definitely, yeah.
As a artist, I mean, as a sculptor, as a painter, as a drawing.
Pretty much all of it. Starts
Really?
with doodles like everyone. I think anyone in graphic design does have that interest. I think the two are tied together in that manner. You can't.
Do you
hate
really?
art. I definitely do.
Because I think there are a fair amount of people, of students, who come to the graphic design program who are computer nerds, who really like building computer graphics, etc., but have to go to the foundations when they get to IPFW and learn how to pick up that pencil. So there's some people who come that way, I would think.
You're right, I'm sure, but I think it still has that core internal, at least, love of development and creativity and everything. Maybe
Right.
they're not so into developing it with their hands, but that's their tool that they use, I think.
Right. Well, I'm proud of the IPFW program because they emphasize those foundational skills
Right.
as graphic designers. And so your project is what?
I created an organization, not-for-profit organization called Man Up. What it is, its goal is to strengthen relationships between fathers, particularly, and their children. It offers that, or does that, through a website primarily. Oh, here are the images?
Yeah, what are we looking at?
That's just the logo that I developed for the website, as well as the mission statement. And then there are some supporting posters that I created. That is, particular one is aimed at getting a hold of fathers who are newly fathers or expecting fathers, and directing them towards the organization for assistance if they feel they might need it. And again, this is the same type idea. However, this is geared more towards fathers who are trying to build that bond with their daughters. Maybe they aren't so good in the girl department, and
But they're really good at outside tea parties.
exactly,
They may not be good at anything else, but they don't mind a tea party with their daughter.
exactly.
Well, so it's an organization that exists already. You created the organization.
Exactly. I've been asked that before, and I've kind of struggled. How do you answer that? It has not existed in the past, but I developed it. But I've gone about it from the beginning of trying to create everything, so it is a fully functional project, and I would love for it to exist past the show and
So
continue on.
it has a web address that people can go to and get information and contribute information to as well. It feels like it's an interactive site. Is that correct?
It is definitely, and I would encourage people to do that now. Actually, the web address is www.manupfw.com. And like I said, it has resources on it and everything, activities that fathers can do with their children. But that information, I want it to come from the community. So I'd encourage people, they can get on the website and get on there and tell about something that's going on, or this is something that we have through our church or the organization that I work at, and give me that information, and I'd love to pass it on to the community.
Great. It's like a social list that they can create on their own, sort of a Wikipedia for activities for children and parents here in Fort Wayne.
Exactly. It's a database full of information. It's kind of like Craigslist. I want to be a hub for fathers.
Was the web creation part of the project? I mean, creating the web page that you actually designed, was that part of your senior project, or was it just the graphic elements?
No, I mean, I've done everything, basically. So yeah, the website is my development, the graphic elements, the campaign, and all that information.
The particulars of the show, Jim, are when?
April 11th is the opening. We have a 6:30 to 7 awards ceremony, and 7 to 9 is the opening reception for the artists. All the artists will be there. We'll have food, beverages there for the general public. It is free, open to the public. We'd love everybody to come down.
There's always good food.
There is.
It's at the Kroll Gallery at the Allen County Public Library, April 11th through May 18th. Opening reception awards Friday, April 11th at 6:30 p.m. For more information, you can call 260-481-6709. That's 260-481-6709 for the Visual Communication and Design Senior Exhibition. Congratulations, Bill, on your project. I look forward to seeing it. And Jim, thank you for the great work you do for IPFW.
Thank you for having us.
I look forward to the opening.
We look forward to it too.
Thank you.
After this short break, we'll hear more about the Fine Arts Student Exhibition, so please take this minute to view our performance calendar of what's coming up in our area. We'll be right back with Bob Schrader and Jeremy Stroop. The IPFW Fine Arts BFA Student Exhibition opens April 7th in the Visual Arts Gallery on the campus of IPFW. Joining me to share the details on this annual event are faculty member Bob Schrader and graduating senior Jeremy Stroop. Gentlemen, welcome to Arts Weekly. Thank you for joining me.
Thanks for having us.
You have an exhibition opening.
Yeah, we do.
In a week.
On Monday.
On Monday.
Just a few days from now.
And does that mean that we're installing at this very moment?
Yes, we're installing.
Wow.
Frantic a little bit.
Frantic a little bit. Bob, you are on the faculty at IPFW. What do you teach in the Department of Fine Arts?
I teach metalsmithing, mostly. Sometimes I teach drawing, sometimes 2D design.
How long have you been teaching at IPFW?
Well, I've been teaching since 1994, part-time, and in the evenings through the 90s, and then more recently I've been teaching a lot.
But you have a long career in the arts at Fort Wayne.
Yeah.
I was quite surprised to find out how long you've been in. Tell us a little bit about your background here in Fort Wayne.
I came to Fort Wayne in 1989 to be curator at the Art Museum, and I was there for 14 years. And then after that, I changed that, and I was more full-time teaching at IPFW.
Because you seem to have quite a knowledge of development for the arts.
Oh, yeah. I've been working in museums since 1980. I received my MFA degree from the University of Wisconsin in Madison, and in 1980 I thought about becoming a university professor and teacher, but there weren't any university jobs available in metalsmithing. So I became a museum professional. I started out as a registrar for the Madison Art Center, which is now Madison Museum of Contemporary Arts. I was there for 5 years. I went to the University Art Museum in Santa Barbara, University of California, Santa Barbara, and then after that I came to Fort Wayne. And I was registrar through those previous jobs, and I was curator in Fort Wayne, so I have a pretty wide experience.
Well, I'll be calling on you next spring because I'm going to develop an entrepreneurship study program at IPFW for all 4 disciplines in the College of Visual and Performing Arts, and they'll have to do cross-disciplinary work with each other, the students in fine arts, VCD, music, and theater.
Oh, that's great.
I'll be looking for you to participate in that if you're interested.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think all artists have to understand this idea of the business side of it.
And museums are a great way to look at study that.
Absolutely. So we have a BFA exhibition. What is a BFA for our viewers who don't understand what that?
It's a pre-professional degree. It's a degree that prepares you for entering the work world, if you so choose, or for looking towards going to graduate school to have an advanced degree to work on a master's or an MFA, which is different than a Master of Arts. It's much more intense. And an MFA is a terminal degree, which sounds a little bit scary, but terminal means that it's the final degree in your field. So if you were an art education professor, for instance, or person, you would be looking towards getting a PhD. But as a studio artist, an MFA is the final step.
But this BFA and the BA, you offer both of those degrees. Right. What does a student in a BFA program do that's different from a student in a BA program?
Much more studio work. So many more credits in studio, so you take more classes, you focus more on a discipline. You choose a discipline and you decide which medium you're going to focus on, and then your advisor, your major professor, is the person that you work with to develop what you have to say and what your interests are.
So the actual credit hours attributed to a degree are much more significant in the BFA program than the BA program because of the studio study.
And the work reflects that too. The work that you end up with reflects that.
Does that make IPFW unique? What makes IPFW unique with regard to that then?
Well, it's a program, it's not a very big program, and you have a lot of attention from your professors, and so that's something that at a bigger school you don't usually have. Another thing about IPFW is that in the Fine Arts department there are 3 degrees. There is the BA, the BFA, and then there's the Art Education degree. And the professors that are there are very active, they're very good and active in their field. Everybody is pretty much publishing in their work, yeah, or they're showing their work in major cities, Chicago, New York, other cities, and so nobody is really just resting on their laurels.
No,
everybody is still very active.
Yeah, I have to agree with you that the faculty in the Fine Arts Department, Chris Scans, for example, just finished showing at a really wonderful show in South Dakota. He showed me the information.
And he's handled by Ann Nathan Gallery in Chicago, who I used to show with. I introduced Chris and Ann, and then they hit it off and developed a relationship. People show in New York, in Chelsea. It's a very active program. Very active
professors. So we have how many students in the BFA exhibition?
This year there are 6.
There are 6, and I think we have some images. Let's look at those images, and perhaps you can tell us a little bit about them.
This is Barbara Nohenick's work. It's a print, and Barbara's been focusing on images of bridges. She'll visit bridges in the area. We have a lot of historic bridges in this region.
We do.
She goes there on different days. It depends on the type of day. She'll go out in the rain, she'll go out in the snow, she'll go out on a sunny day, and she'll draw and sketch, and then she comes back to the studio and works those drawings into lithographs and etchings.
Right. I think it's important for the audience, for the viewers, to understand that this is a print.
It's a print, so it's done in addition. And so there will be an initial black and white state, and then color will be added, be changed.
In stages, the colors are added.
And that nice blue sky might become a raging storm.
Terrific.
You know,
yeah.
So
great.
This is Matthew Schroeder, and Matt's a very interesting potter. We have a really good ceramics program.
We have an excellent ceramics program. Nancy McCroskey is incredible.
And she's been there since 1984, and she's developed quite a track record. But Matt is making some of the biggest pieces I've ever seen anyone make in our studios. He's really looked into ceramics in this country historically, found mentors that he's interested in seeing who've done large-scale work, and he's figured out the mechanics and how to solve the problems of doing large-scale work.
Because that piece, which you can't tell by the photo, is about 2.5 feet tall, and he has pieces that are upwards of 3 feet, 3.5 feet tall.
5 feet.
5 feet. Well,
and
I'm just barely over 5 feet, so I haven't seen that piece yet.
When you visit the show and you walk in the front door, you'll see one of Matt's pieces, and you can't see the top of it. You have to look up, and the bottom is near the floor.
He's extremely prolific as well. He
prolific.
Likes to do coffee cups and pots, and this is another piece of his.
Yeah,
that's also about 3 feet high.
He's a great guy. This is Carrie Larson. She's doing paintings, but she's doing fashion. She's very interested in wearable art. She took metalsmithing with me and did some wonderful jewelry. But she's doing these underwater aquatic paintings, and then creating gowns that reflect each painting. And so at the opening, we're going to have some of her friends wearing the gowns that go with the paintings, and some of those they're electrified, so they're lights, and they light up because the painting is of deep sea creatures that produce their own light.
Wait. The paintings are electrified, or the gowns?
The gowns are electrified.
The gowns are electrified. Okay.
And the paintings reflect the images of those creatures that make their own light.
Exciting.
And so it's 3D. It's 3D. Yeah. It should be really interesting.
Jeremy, welcome. Nice graduating senior. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And what do you study at IPFW in the Fine Arts Department?
I'm a ceramics major, or sculpture major, but I do a lot of ceramics.
Oh, so you have ceramics and sculpture?
Just sculpture, but I just dabble a lot. Mostly they all come out ceramic. So.
Have you always been interested in the arts?
Yeah, pretty much since I was a kid. I did a lot in high school too, and then was going to be a minor in art and was a language major, and switched when I talked to Jay Bastian. Was a really good teacher, and he talked me into it, and yeah, it was a great program.
Let's see some of your work, because I find it so interesting, and you know, it has to be described only by you.
Fair enough.
This piece is a beautiful ceramic piece that you sculpted.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about this piece.
Okay, my work this semester has been under the theme of homes, and so I kind of have been looking at animal homes and architectural forms, places where things live. So this is based on conch shells, or whelks that live inside them, and snail shells, and combined with some like windows and chimneys and things that people might build. So there's sort of a collision of human and animal forms there in this piece.
And how big is that piece?
That one was pretty small. It's about, I think it's 8 inches long.
This piece is actually quite tall.
Maybe like 3.5 feet tall. And this is one of my taller tower cathedral-esque buildings. And it's, the architectural forms are more obvious because they're more geometric, rectilinear, right angles, and the organic forms are kind of growing through them and out of them. And it's based on chrysalises that like butterflies might build, and adobe Pueblo architecture as well.
There's something, this one's very Adobe-like. The last one reminds me of a Tolkien story. And I keep joking with you about that.
Oh, definitely.
I think there's some people in Hollywood who would love to see some of your sculptures for...
That'd be great.
Yeah, it would,
they're watching it, they can call me up. They started out being a lot more cubist and geometric and based on de style architecture, the neoplasticism movement, and the Pueblo buildings. Like this is from the original series, and they'll have this earthy glaze that kind of pools and shows the lines well. And this is a temple, and it's supposed to, the door is very small, so you sort of put yourself in as a very small person if you were imagining yourself.
And how tall is that
this one's maybe 1.5 feet tall.
How many pieces do you have in the actual show?
In the show, I didn't count, but I think it's about 30.
Wow, terrific. Okay, let's get the particulars out. The show opens when?
Well, it opens to the public Monday morning, April 7th.
Okay.
And the reception is Thursday evening, 6 to 8 p.m. on April 10th.
Okay, Visual Arts Building Gallery, IPFW campus, April 7th through the 27th. The opening reception is Thursday, April 10th from 6 to 8 p.m. For more information, you can call 260-481-6705. 260-481-6705. Gentlemen, thank you for joining me on Arts Weekly. Congratulations on your upcoming show.
Can I say that opening reception is an open house?
Oh.
All of the studios will be open. There will be refreshments throughout the building, and everyone's welcome to bring family and friends and join us.
And that's in the Fine Arts Building on the campus of IPFW.
Right.
Again, thank you. I'm John O'Connell, Dean of the IPFW College of Visual and Performing Arts. Please tune in to Arts Weekly next time when we'll visit with the Fort Wayne Philharmonic's Andrew Constantine about their upcoming performance of Beethoven's Fifth Symphony. Then Craig Humphrey will share details about the IPFW Department of Theater's upcoming production of Into the Woods. For up-to-the-minute arts updates, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. And be sure to join us here live Thursday evenings at 7:30 on PBS 39. Thanks for watching Arts Weekly.
The preceding program on PBS 39 was made possible in part by
Excellence lives here in northeastern Indiana. It's reflected in more than 200 nationally recognized degrees. It drives our Division I sports. It's alive in our campus life. Excellence has a name, IPFW. Around our campus, around the country, around the world. Excellence lives here. Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, two great names.
For nearly 60 years, Arts United has worked to bring the rich, diverse talents of our region together through support of the arts, socially, culturally, and economically. Arts United, providing a home for the arts in Northeast Indiana.